Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Jehovah's Witnesses and their 1925 teaching. There's not much else I need to say at the moment, so let's get right on into the video. Starting in 1918, Rutherford began proclaiming, "Millions now living will never die." According to him, the earthly resurrection of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob would commence in 1925, and this became the focus of the preaching work. After the 1914 failure and Russell's death in 1916, Rutherford wrested control of Watchtower. In February 1918, he proclaimed, "The world has ended, millions now living may never die," reigniting the urgency in his followers. In March 1918, the title was changed to "The World Has Ended, Millions Now Living Will Never Die." In 1920, Watchtower released the booklet "Millions Now Living Will Never Die." Rutherford expounded on this in his first book released in 1921, The Harp of God. A children's book that was released in 1924, named The Way to Paradise, made absurd predictions about 1925. The current leadership wants to give the impression that 1925 held little relevance in JW history. However, this was the defining prophecy of Rutherford's presidency. What did they expect for 1925? They were very specific and included the end of Christendom, the return of Earth to a paradise state, resurrection of the dead, and reestablishment of Palestine. Then Rutherford goes into the junk science of pyramidology. Rutherford further claimed that 1925 was a date that God himself had etched in stone. In the April 1st, 1923 Watchtower, the author writes, "Our thought is that 1925 is definitely settled by Scripture. How much more evidence do JWs need to conclude that they are following false prophets?" On what did Rutherford base this prediction? Wait for it. In the booklet, "Millions Now Living Will Never Die," he asserts that 70 jubilees of 50 years each gives us 3,500 years. Like, duh. It also asserts that 1,575 years before 1 AD, or CE as I prefer, is when the Jews entered Canaan. That's not true, but that's for another video. This is how he came to 1925. Really? How did he get to 70 times? How did he get 50 years? They have nothing to do with each other. Not surprisingly, this teaching resulted in the growth of this society, and this is exactly how Russell came up with the 1914 teaching. Let's just get some verses that have nothing to do with each other and slap them together and make them have something to do with each other. However, just like in 1914, when 1925 passed without incidents, it is estimated that 75% left the religion. Rutherford continued to promote Russell's teaching that the society's followers would go to heaven and most humans would survive Armageddon and be educated by Jesus on paradise earth. At this time, salvation was not determined by being part of the Watchtower or even believing in Jesus. He goes into even greater detail in the Harp of God. On page 333, he invokes God's promise to Noah to prove that Armageddon will not result in mass human slaughter. The unrighteous will be given the chance to learn and practice righteousness. In the Proclaimer's book, the JWs give the right impression of this Bible student belief. However, more often than not, Watchtower indicates that this belief was over-optimistic. Watchtower claimed in the May 15, 1963 Watchtower that the slogan applied only to the great crowd of JWs, but Rutherford clearly taught that this applied to more than the great crowd. From the time of Rutherford down to the present, the governing body has consistently blamed regular Jehovah's Witnesses for their failed prophecies. Instead of taking responsibility, Watchtower always blames their members. If you like this kind of content, hit the like button, press the subscribe button, and if you would like to know when I come out with new content, press the bell next to the subscribe button. If notifications are not working, I usually have something out every day. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, along with the source I used for this video. If you wish to support this channel, you may do so on my PayPal link. Question everything and never be afraid. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, goodbye.